Hello, Steve White, Steve White 89. Well, I finally got through the modern era of Doctor Who, all, I think it's like 15 seasons if you count the specials as their own seasons, because I think there were some years we only had a bunch of specials. Um, I really enjoyed Ncuti Gatwa's era, and I really enjoyed Jodie Whittaker's era, and I really think they do not deserve the criticism they get. They seem to be blamed for the decline of Doctor Who as a franchise, but that started before them. That started in the Capaldi era. So I really think a lot of people's criticism is really insincere and just a lot of hate and bigotry and just pop culture, war, drama, and a lot of things that are attributed to these eras are really not really justified. So yeah, I enjoyed the the Pi Generation. I'm not quite sure how I feel about them keeping the 14th Doctor around, sort of as a backup, but and I really wish Ncuti gotten more than 2 seasons because I really enjoyed the show with him. They seemed to spend a bit more time just having one-off adventures, and they didn't sort of get obsessed with the timeline and the history and the timey-wimey sort of side of it. Like, I've sort of realised that Doctor Who is best when it's using time travel to tell a story, not telling a story about time travel or making time travel the story or the centre of the everything. And they did get really, really, really just they really just drowned in that in a few seasons of the show. Now, not this that this show was perfect and the season was perfect. I mean, the Goblins doing a musical number were a bit much, and then Space Babies right afterwards, 2 in a row. If you were just starting Doctor Who from that point and you hadn't really seen Doctor Who before, I could see how you'd switch off thinking it was like a kids program, or you know. But the season got better. The Devil's Chord was pretty awesome. I think Jinx Monsoon did a great job. Boom was pretty good as well. I mean, I love 73 Yards. God, the first part of that before she sort of, when she's still in the town, it was just amazing. Dot and Bubble was pretty devastating. I kind of wish I didn't know where that was going. I kind of was like, is this the one where they won't accept help because Shooty's black and they're just so racist they would rather risk death than you know, get help and sort of it was a bit much, and I could see how he really got into that, and I can see like the acting with Millie was really there for him. It was a good moment. Rogue, the scene where he made out with the guy, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't over the top. It was just, you know, they didn't play up his nature that much on the show, I feel. And they even sort of made him quite heteronormative towards the end, where it was all about Poppy and you know, sort of this biological imperative of having children, protecting children, which is like, geez, it was really, those last few episodes were really, really, it was almost like they're just trying to say, we don't hate breeders. We really don't. Please come back and watch. It felt a bit like that. But yeah, I mean, I loved Clara. Not Clara. I'm looking at Ruby Sunday's mother's Carla. I don't know why I said Clara. I liked her. I loved the mother and the grandmother. They were fun. Yeah, who else did we have in this season? We didn't need much more than that. I really did enjoy them. I thought the dynamic between... I do think it was, you know what, it was a little bit too much to just have one companion. You do need more than one because it just becomes all about them. But they didn't go overboard because they're more just like friends, like her and the gay best friend, as opposed to, you never really were worried about the are they or aren't they, will they or won't they, because sometimes that just gets in the way of the storytelling and everything else, and it's really not that important, but they focus too much on that, like that. They didn't do it too much with Yaz and Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. It was there, but wasn't overplayed or anything. But yeah, and then when they swapped to Belinda, she really didn't want to be there. So there are elements that didn't quite work like that. But then the overall tone and everything I really enjoyed. Like, I just wanted to be there. I didn't want it to end. I dragged out the last episode for a whole day. I kept pausing it and doing other things. I couldn't quite sit down and finish it. Because I was just enjoying not just, I guess, that episode in that era, but also the show as a whole, because it's kind of over at the moment. No one knows what's happening, and we don't know. They've said, oh, Doctor Who will happen without Disney, with or without Disney will go on, but I'm like, yeah, who's going to pay for that? someone's got to pay for it. So yeah, you can say that, you can think that, you can intend that, but does that mean that's going to happen? I don't know. But yeah, Nuti Gatwa did a good job. He didn't get enough time. I wish he'd got a third season. I wish they had. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. They went too big. The TARDIS looks right, but it's too big. The action was sort of too big. They were trying to introduce a new crowd and trying to sort of Americanize it and get sort of a different audience. And I don't think they alienated the audience, but I don't think they were quite what people were looking for. And like I said, those first couple of episodes were very just I can see how some people might have switched off thinking that the whole show was sort of like that. I don't know, but yeah, I enjoyed it, and I don't think he deserved any of the criticism he got. I wish it ended differently. I wish we could look forward to him coming back. At least we got 2 seasons and a couple of specials. But yep, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of Nuti Gatwa's era and that all the drama around it, because I just don't think any of it was deserved, and I don't blame him for telling all those deplorables in the fan base to go touch grass. You know, do we really need them? I mean, numbers wise, they kind of help. I get that, but yeah. So I just really enjoyed Doctor Who in general. I think it's sad that it sort of has declined, and like I said, it started with Capaldi. It got too complicated. People couldn't follow it. I think people got pushed out at that point, and then all the pop culture wars, you know, kind of stopped. I think it kept people away from it, even though the show itself was good. So I'm glad I finally watched them all. I'm glad I have now experienced Doctor Who. I have it in my life. I have, like, you know, I can refer to things in the show and that. I sort of have an understanding of the show now. Now I have to just try and watch all the classic seasons, because this whole just tens of episodes missing from the first couple of seasons. I think there's still like 90 missing, and then a lot of them haven't been released, so they're hard to so yeah, I'm just going to try and navigate that. But modern era, loved it. Wish I'd followed it year to year and sort of experienced it as more part of my life as opposed to just doing that now. But now I feel like Doctor Who is a part of my life as a fan. Am I a Whovian? What is a Doctor Who fan? I think I'm a Whovian. But yeah, I'm gonna go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of this era. And yeah, why it got so much criticism and why it seemed to get blamed for everything that preceded it, much like Jodie Whittaker. I don't think it was called for. But let me know what you think.